All right, here, VC boys and ladies. Uh, we're here where the buffalo roam, and I heard there's a certain individual from Seattle coming all the way out here to Noble Records. Why? Who knows? It's kind of a phenomenon these days. I just saw Christina from Toronto was here, um, but that actually was a few years back, according to Dylan. And she didn't let a brother know about such events. And so I'm feeling a little bit empty inside. But today we should relieve those empty feelings with pillaging through 80,000 7-inch records or such amounts. There's going to be a wine bender here, as well as a digital gramophone, whatever the hell that might be, and a zonk man, which is just as mysterious, and a vinyl picker from the mountains of this here fine state of North Kakalaki. Hope y'all have a wonderful afternoon.
Afternoon, VC. All right. So Alex at Diamond Marimba has sternly advised me that my book report is well past due, so I am here recording on the old phone device. Got plenty of records to show as per normal. Great meetup yesterday. John pretty much put this one together as Mazzy's friend Kimbo was in town all the way from Seattle. Him and his girlfriend flew to Nashville, got to see some cool stuff there, like the Country Music Hall of Fame, I believe. Maybe catch a show, and then drove all the way to Asheville, North Carolina, and he got to check out Harvest Records, which is, I'm glad he knew about that place, because that is one of my favorite record stores in the world, let alone North Carolina. Great owner, and always great rare used records in there. Love digging in that place, and they carry all kinds of great new records, similar to Lunchbox, but even more eclectic. The stuff I can't get at Lunchbox is in Harvest, and they actually do ship. So if you ever need anything like new release that's a little bit different, they've got it at Harvest Records. And then they drove here to Charlotte and spent the day here yesterday. Interestingly, they stayed in the same hotel as my friend Akiko that came to visit me from Japan, which was pretty cool. And went to the same restaurant that I did. A great Italian place here in downtown Charlotte. And but yeah, good day. Art came out, the vinyl picker from the Hickory area. Zonk Man came down from Winston. One of John's friends, Justin, was there. I think he goes by HGJ Trio on Instagram. If you want to follow him, he's always showing great records. He's originally from New York, the New York City area, and has been down here maybe a decade or so. Nice to meet him. Really cool dude. We'll be getting up for a proper dig here maybe in a few weeks when Dom is in town. But yeah, to the records. Let's see what we got here first. I'll show some of these just because it kind of ties into going to Noble and Dylan. I went into Repo the other day just to get sleeves, and this always happens. Every time I go in there just to get sleeves, I look through the used really quick and usually find something cheap, so I leave with a couple records, so I'm not really just walking out with sleeves. I pass on these every time, these records. I just am always like, I don't need them. and I've heard them a million times, and I still got the CD of one of these. But because of the condition and how cheap they were, I normally in repo these are $30, $40 is what he marks on these on used copies these days, because they still sell at even at those prices. This is the kind of stuff that he likes to have in the shop, and the classic rock stuff, and he prices it up higher than the stuff that should be priced higher. I don't know, but this was $3. This is obviously, you know what this is, House of the Holy, my all-time favorite Led Zeppelin record by far. I'm not big on Zeppelin. I still have this CD. It's the only CD I still have of them. But for $3, it's a 1977 reissue, U.S. I think this came out originally in 73. The gatefold is in great shape. And there's a lot of comments on this particular pressing. So, I mean, when you try to log these on Discogs, holy shit, the millions of different variations. So you have to go into the dead wax, and I narrowed it down to the last damn thing in the dead wax. The comments on this are through the roof in favor of the sound quality of this compared to even anything else. So yeah, very happy to get this for $3. Filling some gaps in the old classic rock bin that I have. I just have like one bin that's classic rock stuff. And then this was sitting behind it in the bin for $6. So I wasn't leaving this one either, because I love the song Cashmere, so Physical Graffiti. Now this is an original first U.S. press, in fantastic shape. So for $6, grabbed it. Yeah, it's got everything that it came with. So that was for $9 and some sleeves I got out of there. Pretty stoked. And I did grab one other record, if I can find it. Oh, I always quickly look through his little box of Beatles 7-inches, because there's always stuff getting added to it all the time. The stuff must just sit somewhere, and then... But anyway, I grabbed this one. This is John Lennon with the Plastic Ono Band, Instant Karma, We All Shine on the A side, and Who Has Seen the Wind on the B side. The A side is a great track. I love that song. Sounds great on 7-inch. The B side has Yoko Ono singing, but she's actually singing well. Like actually singing. I was shocked. It's good. It's not great, but the A side is fantastic. So I love grabbing any 7-inches, good 7-inches I don't have of the Beatles stuff. So there you go. Next, I've got one record that came in the mail that we'll show, and then we'll get into the big dig yesterday with the guys. This is a big one for my ESP disc collection, because I'm trying to get all the jazz from the first, couple of runs that they did. And this is one that I've passed on just because I've listened to it online, and it's definitely way out there, and it's not my favorite, but the artwork is incredible on this, and it was a really great price at Autumn Records. And they shipped it my way. So it's We Moved Together from Music of the Sea Ensemble. And it's a duo here, I believe husband and wife. Suzanne Fastow-Garrett and Donald Raphael Garrett. And Donald has been on some of the Elzevir records I have from Germany. Great player. This is some weird fucking shit, though. It is out there. Yeah, free jazz, some spiritual elements. Made in Poland on the label, which I thought was very interesting. It's a later ESP disc. It's a 3000 series. It's not in the first 100. But it's definitely one that's been on my radar for a while, and for the cheap price it was, decent shape. The record's VG plus. The sleeve I'd say is VG. But yeah, big one for the ESP disc collection that was missing. All right, so Noble. A couple big drops there lately, and I've skipped both of them. There was a huge metal drop a week or so ago, and before that he did a massive VOA drop on Record Store Day. I believe that's what he did. And there was one record on the wall on RSD I kind of wanted to go up there to get, but it was $250, and I decided to get a giant stack of RSD titles instead. But I kind of wish I would have gone the opposite way. But the record I want is still there, and will still be there weeks from now. It's the weird stuff. No one goes into Noble for the weird stuff much. Yeah, I think I ended up with maybe 6 or 7 records here. A few from I think 3 or 4 of these are from the VOA collection. It's like I said, it's never ending in there. It's pretty incredible. And most all of the records are in pristine shape as far as the vinyl itself. And they, of course, being a Saturday morning, are putting out more stacks to fill the front new arrivals bins. And Dylan was there. He's hard to catch these days in the shop because he's so busy with the label. But he happened to be there. I let him know that, Kimbo was coming, and there's a good group of us going to be there. So it was nice to have Dylan in the shop. But his manager there put a good stack in the used new arrivals, and this was the first one I grabbed because it was like $10. Welcome to the Terror Dome, Public Enemy. I don't buy a lot of rap, but I love Public Enemy, and any of their 12-inch records I'm going to grab if I see them. I just don't see them often down here, and this one's in mint condition from 1989. So Welcome to the Terror Dome, vocal version, instrumental version, the Terror Mental version on the B-side, Terror Beat, and Flavor Flav, the other cuts on this. Yeah, that's badass stuff right there. And from the VOA collection. This one I was shocked to see in the bins. This is one I've been looking for quite a few years now. I want to say that Joe at Analog Archive has found a copy not too far back, maybe on one of his trips to Boston. This is Keith Tippett and Louis Maholo, No Gossip, one of the SAJ titles from FMP in Germany. I love Louis Maholo on the drums, and Keith Tippett on piano is incredible. I believe he's from Britain, and this is a rare one to find, and it was a great price. Yeah, so this is 1982 FMP. It was one of the has one of those import stickers there from the Cadence building in New York. Let me see, that sticker's kind of bent over. Let me see what's up with that. Yeah, North Country Distributors, Cadence building, Redwood, New York. There you go. Very cool to get that. That'll be some good free jazz. That was in the new arrivals. All the rest of these I found in the jazz bins. Like I said, they're slammed. Now, there was a bunch of records on the wall that were tempting. There's a Dorothy Ashby. The Moondog is going to be there. It's $250. There's a couple of the David Axelrod originals that are also nearing $300 on the wall. So I passed on those. Didn't quite have the budget to throw at the sweet wall pieces this time. But I did get a good stack here out of the bins. The Reggie Workman Ensemble Synthesis. This is from '86 on the Leo Records label. and there's a kind of a theme to all these jazz records I picked up. It's stuff from the 80s, late 70s. And these labels specifically were doing the Lord's work, keeping jazz alive. Because a lot of people check out after like 1968 or whatever. They're just done with jazz. There's so much good stuff later on, especially from these labels I'm going to highlight, like Leo Records out of the UK. And you can tell there's a series of these that have similar covers, and they're all great. But I don't find them here in the States much. Yeah, and I love Reggie Workman on bass. This is Oliver Lake on reeds, Marilyn Crispell on piano, and Andrew Cyril on drums. Anything Andrew Cyril is worth picking up. He's an absolute beast. Looking forward to getting into this. And we'll show you the Leo label. And these records, again, are in pristine shape that Dylan has in the shop right now. This is not a VOA title, but yeah, just near mint record on the vinyl. Some great free jazz there. Another guy I'm not going to pass up if I see him on a record is Abdul Waheed. Plays a mean cello. This is with Leroy Jenkins on violin. This is Straight Ahead, Free at Last. And this is on, I think, Red Record from Italy. And one of the VOA collection pieces. Yeah, one that's been on my want list a long time. And it was cheap. Checked it off the list. Another one on the want list for a long time. The John Carter Quintet, Nightfire, on the Black Saint label from Italy. This is, 1981. I think the prior record, though Abdul Waheed, is from 79. Again, we're in, late 70s, early 80s, when, not many people were paying it as much attention to jazz. There was great stuff going on. Roberto Miranda on bass on this. Great California bass player. He is one of my favorites. James Newton flute, Bobby Bradford trumpet, John Carter clarinet. John Carter was a pioneer of free jazz out of LA area. Very stoked to find this one. Nightfire. Great cover. And then the next is a label that I collect. And I think I'm down to only one or two more to go, vinyl-wise, and maybe 2 CDs, and I'll have the whole of the collection of this label. That's a Survival label, Rashid Ali, another great drummer, his label. And I was very happy to see this. It's the first time I've ever put hands on a copy. It's Jolie Wilson and Bond Street. What Would It Be Without You? On that Survival label of Rashid Ali's. So I imagine he's here on the drums on this one. I don't know what this sounds like. This is one I've never sampled, so I'm kind of taking a punt on this one, but I do collect the label, so I'm not sure. Might be some singing on this. I don't know. We'll find out. But looking forward to spinning that from the VOA collection. And then I've got 2 more records here that were VCLT, and very happy to receive these. I had jokingly mentioned in the comments on some live stream to Kimbo, because he was commenting that when he came to Charlotte to bring some Sonics records for me, I was literally joking, and then he came back. Yeah, sure, I'll do it. And I was like, okay, bring it on. And interestingly, he brought 3 Sonics records because he's got quite a few copies of each in his collection. He told me in the shop, he said, and he traded a couple to Dylan, got great store credit towards getting the Ore promo that was on the Holy Holy Moly wall, behind the counter wall. So that was the biggest find of the day for anybody. And yeah, he gave me the Sonics Boom. It's an original mono pressing on Etiquette. Now, it's not in the best of shape, but I mean, it's a copy. I don't see these around much. And I really dig the Sonics. Really early, like pioneers of this rock sound from the Pacific Northwest. So there's your labels. It does have this at one point belonged to Karen Smith, but stoked to have this. Thanks, Kimbo. This is freaking cool as shit. Now I need to seek out some of the other Sonics records. They're definitely not cheap, and they're definitely rare. Awesome to get that. And then, last but not least, I've got now the oldest record in my collection. As you know, I do have some very old 78s. When we got to Rock Store Barbecue, Art, the NC vinyl picker, had a bag full of stuff that he brought, and he said, hey, whoever wants this stuff, raise your hand. And the first one he pulled out, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see the label, but if you're aware of old 78s, these are the cylinder discs that came out prior, very, very early on. This one's from 1920, so it's a 105-year-old record that I'm holding in my hands here. And it's on the Edison label for Thomas Edison, who created these things. If you can see that label there, it's hard to see. But, yeah, this is Colonel Stuart March, Conway's band, on the A side. And the B side, it's hard to read. It's the Vampire Dance Characteristic by a different group. This is some brass band music, military march style stuff. That's 105 years old. This is just really cool piece to have. Don't really ever find Edison records much unless you're in a museum or get a collection on. I think Carolina Soul actually had a collection of them come in, which is crazy recently. But that was really cool to receive from Art. So, but that was the stuff from there. I did not get anything at Lunchbox. I had tapped out on the old bank account leaving Noble. But the guys did well in Lunchbox. A couple of wall pieces were had. I want to say Justin got an OG of the first Rage Against the Machine record, which he was very stoked about. I think that John Digital Gramophone got a Pixies record. It might be one of those audiophile versions that's very rare. And yeah, the guys were finding good stuff in Lunchbox. And Lunchbox was slammed. If you think the vinyl boom is over, go to Lunchbox pretty much any time. It's not. You can't even fucking park in the parking lot anymore. They had a big event Friday when I drove by, and I was probably going to stop in. And I couldn't even see any parking on the side street down by the bus stop. There was a line to get in. They had a rap artist there, probably with a new release and doing an autograph session. So it was absolutely slammed there on Friday. Happy to see them doing well. They focus on mostly new records, and there's a lot of that still getting sold. I mean, it's crazy, at least out of there. But yeah, great day. Was happy to meet Kimbo and Justin. Never met them before. So yeah, hope you're all well. Peace.